Welcome to Shatter the Glass podcast. I'm your host, Steffany Rossi, and today we're going to talk about how I just ran a half marathon. We all find ourselves trapped in a glass box, surrounded by barriers and obstacles. We can see what we want the outcome to be on the other side, and in most cases, we know exactly what we need to do to get there, but we fear breaking the glass because we fear the mess it's going to make. And I hate to be the one to break it to you, it's messy getting out of the box. Well, welcome to Shatter the Glass podcast. I'm your host, Steffany Rossi. I ran it on Saturday, and I have been an athlete pretty much my entire life, and I have never liked running. It was always a form of punishment as an athlete, and every mistake we made, we had to run, and it was miserable. But I'm also one of those people that always has to keep working towards something, and I was reflecting on when I went skydiving to prove to myself that I could overcome hard things and I could do hard things. But the more I thought about it, the more I just had to swipe my credit card, and the guy jumped out for me, really. I didn't have to do all that much, and there wasn't really preparation in it. And so I decided to run a half marathon, one, to help retrain and rewire my brain to like something that I don't like, and to instill consistency and discipline in my day to day. Um, and I wanted to create a scenario where I had to work for something that I wasn't going to get instant results with. That I had to stay true every day to get to where I wanted to go at the end. And I also put this on social media as soon as I decided to, because I knew that if I put it out there in the social webs, that I had to do it. I couldn't back out. If everyone already knew I was doing it, there was no way I could back out. Oh no. Okay. I took a lot of notes on this, so that's why I'm going to be going to my iPad, because I don't want to miss any of the details on these. So June 10th was the first time I ran a mile without stopping, probably my entire life. Maybe the physical fitness test in gym class, but I probably tried to get out of that, if I'm going to be honest. And it was a long mile. It was not quick, but I didn't stop. But I think it was close to like a 13, 14-minute mile. And I had no idea how I was going to run 13 miles on June 10th. Looking forward to the actual marathon on October 26th. And training was not easy. There were many times where I wanted to quit, and I was faced with either quitting or continuing on, and I decided to face the challenge and really lean into that. Um, it's easy for me to deviate from a plan and um, try to make my own, because for whatever reason, I think I'm the expert sometimes, even when I'm not. So I really stayed disciplined with my training plan, with my running plan. And part of that was, even if I didn't feel like it, I still had to stick to the plan, because we're not going to wake up every day and want to stick to our plan. And that was probably one of the hardest things of training, was doing the training when I didn't want to do the training, when it was raining, or it was too cold, it was too hot, there was too many bugs. And I can't show, I have so many pictures with thousands of bugs on me, and it's disgusting, but you just got to do it. The other really hard part of running is pacing. You are with yourself for hours. In your own head, there's no one talking back but you. And the conversations you have with yourself during these times are some of the most transformative, in a way that I would have never been able to talk to myself like that, just sitting in a room with distractions. And if you know me, I'm 0 or 100. There is no in between. So running has also taught me to find that happy medium and not go all out when I start, so I don't burn out by mile 13. And it's so I can pace myself so I can finish the final goal. So running all of this, I put a lot of miles on my feet this summer and training, and I've connected with myself more on a deeper level than I ever thought I would, and it's helped me understand myself more. And now we're going to talk about the actual race. So the day before the race, everyone gets really excited because we get to carb load. So I had, a pimento mac and cheese, grilled cheese. I had pasta. I had all the things you could think of. I ordered my tiramisu that I could have for breakfast the next morning. Um, and then I thought I was going to sleep really well, and I didn't. I was up every hour because I was anxious. Um, I think I was anxious because I was excited to run. I was anxious because I didn't know if I was going to finish or not. Um, and by the time my alarm did go off, I kind of had like a calming sense come over me, and I um, I was ready. I was ready to run. I knew I prepared for it. My vest was packed. I had my flat layout that was, you see all the Instagrammers do. Like I was ready to run. And as I was heading to, the start line, there's thousands of people. And something that I wasn't expecting to find on this when I first started this journey was the running community. There are people out there that were running their first marathon, half marathon too. There were people out there that have ran hundreds of marathons and they were trying to get a PR this time. There was people that have never trained and just wanted to get out in the sun that day. But everyone is so encouraging, and the energy before you like start the race is something that I really can't describe, but it is something that's just like it makes you feel alive. And then you, as a group, get to start running. And that first mile, everyone's kind of like sardines because there's so many people, and you don't, it for me, it's hard not to just want to like all out sprint and get past everybody. But I kind of really held in that first mile and just like felt everything around me, um, and just kept going. And I was really excited, and it was it was just like I really can't describe it. But it's something that I want to bottle. Like when I went skydiving, I wanted to bottle the free falling feeling. Like starting the half marathon, I want to bottle that because it's just like electrifying. Um, so I stayed at the comfortable pace that I needed to for the first several miles. Um, Something that I didn't anticipate was the humidity that day. Um, and there's a lot of things in our day-to-day lives too that, we can't control, that we just have to keep pushing through. It was 93% humidity, and I couldn't breathe out of my nose a lot of the times, which is why I'm glad I did have water, um, because I usually don't run with water because then I'd have to take bathroom breaks, and no one wants to do that. Um, and running through Nashville had a lot of like surreal moments for me. Um, it's almost a month to the day of like when I moved here 4 years ago. And those past 4 years, it's been like a category 5 hurricane where I had some of the lowest times of my life, and I've had many 180s to get to where I'm at now and getting closer and closer to my peak performance. And I've relaxed a lot, but running really helps me relax so much more. It helps me clear my mind, and it pushes my physical energy, but it pushes my mental energy more than anything. Um, and that's something that I really wasn't expecting when I also started this whole running journey. Um, but it allows me to work on myself every day. It allows me to push myself every single day, um, push beyond limits that I didn't think I was possible of achieving. If you would have told me, I mean, even at the beginning of this year that I was going to run 13 miles, I would have laughed. There's no way. Um, I'm not. I never thought I was a runner. Um, Mile 8 was when I started to hit a wall. Um, we already went over the pedestrian bridge once, and we were in Shelby Park, and my toe started hurting, and I felt like I lost my toenail. If Newsflash, I didn't actually lose it, but I thought I did. Um, I was in pain. I wanted to stop, but I didn't. I kept going. I was trying to eat this nasty gel, that I now learned that I cannot do gels when I run because it's the consistency. I really tried. It's just not my fuel. There's other ways, but that is not mine. I think I held that thing for like a mile and a half, and it was like the most miserable mile and a half because I was trying to eat it and I just couldn't. Um, so I did learn on that race that I am not a gel girl. Um, and then I got to mile about 10 or 11, and that's where for the first time, I did two practice half marathons prior, and I didn't stop during those. I didn't walk at all. And in this the actual race day, I walked, I think, about a half a mile. Mile 11 was my longest mile in my splits, and that is where I walked part of the pedestrian bridge because we had to do that twice. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to Nashville and walked the pedestrian bridge, but running it is even worse. And I did not anticipate or train for the hills of Nashville that I thought was flat. Um, as we entered the stadium, like you go under, and I thought the finish line was going to be like right when you got in, but no, we had to run halfway around the track, and that was the longest part of the race, the entire race. Um, and they say your name like right before you like cross the finish line, and hearing my name and like running over it was one of the most rewarding experiences because I did it. Like I just ran 13 miles and I never thought I would actually say that in a sentence. And now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, well, 13 miles isn't that much, right? Like I can do more. Um, and it was my choice to run. Afterwards, I laid on the turf in the middle for about 10 minutes, just soaking in all my hard work and really celebrating my progress and my potential and what I just did because I usually don't do that. Um, all of the extra laundry I had to do, all of the extra calories I had to eat, all of the hours I put into training. Um, and at the start of the race, I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way I could do this. Like, for a full marathon, there's just no way. Like, that's a lot of miles. And maybe it was the runner's high afterwards, or me wanting to just push myself more again. I don't know, but I committed to doing a full marathon in April. So now I'm going to start training for that because running has pushed me to be the best version of myself. And I know I'm just getting started. Thank you for tuning in for Shatter the Glass podcast. I'm so happy you're here. Please be sure to follow us on all our socials.